was coming back from school. It was raining outside. Oh, what a nasty time of year, autumn. It poured and poured all day long. I sped up to get home, because I didn't want to be outside at all. There, I was almost home, and all I had to do was open the door. I decided to look around our yard to see if our climate was terrible, and I saw a little girl about 6 years old in front of me. She was dressed in a light chintz dress and summer sandals. The girl was holding a teddy bear in her hands. The girl's face was very frightened. She looked at me with her trusting blue eyes. I felt sorry for her. I went up to the girl and asked her where she lived and why she was so lightly dressed. The girl said she was lost and they hadn't been able to find her for 2 whole months. I asked her if she remembered where her home was. The girl said she did. She took me by the hand and led me to her house. For 15 minutes now, the girl has been trying to lead me to her house, wandering through streets and alleys. My patience is not endless. Just when I was about to yell at her for taking so long, suddenly the girl finds her home. Turning onto one of the old streets, the girl walked up to the most crooked house and said it was her home. I wanted to go over and ring the intercom, but the girl said she lives here and pointed to the hole in the basement. There was a grate on the hole, and I could hardly get the girl in. But I tried my best to bend it off and, taking the girl by the hand, climbed in. It was very dirty and dark in the basement, but the girl was able to get her bearings and went over to the pile of cardboard in the corner and lay down there. She told me to go home, that I had done my job. A little surprised that the girl lived in the basement, I went home. Suddenly the phone rang. I reached into my briefcase. It was my mother calling. As soon as I answered, Mom asked where I was and why I was unavailable. I answered, but you didn't call me. I did, 10 times. Look in the call log. Mom. Indeed. 10 missed calls from the caller. Mom. Daughter, tell me where you are. I was taking the girl home. I'll be right home. I'm waiting for you. Mom didn't even ask who the girl was. She'll probably ask at home. When I got to the house, I was relieved. I took out my keys and opened the door. At lunch my mother asked me, so who did you take home, daughter? I replied that I had taken home a girl about 6 years old and described her appearance. With each word I said, my mother grew paler and paler, and when I finished she said, the girl went missing 2 months ago, they never could find her. Where did you take her? When I answered, the mother called the police and told them the girl had been found. At first they didn't believe her, because even professional detectives, masters of their craft, couldn't find her. But they came anyway. It was the first time I was riding in a police car. And not just driving, I'm sitting in the front seat showing the way. Here we drove up that street, here we drove up to this house, the cops got out, and I led them to the basement. They told me to stay upstairs and they went downstairs. A few minutes later they heard a shout of triumph. They had found the girl's corpse. After pulling it out, they took the corpse to the morgue. I went home alone. It had been 4 months since the accident. Still, I wonder where this girl came from on my street, and why, since she knows the way so well, she couldn't come back sooner.